All right. Welcome those watching on Twitch and Twitter. We are doing a very special overview today with ATAMA, and we will be doing a overview on the extension and some of the view features that we actually have displayed, and going over any questions that the ATAMA community has and the Alpha Sharks community has as well. So we're going to give it a few minutes for some people to jump in here, and we'll get started. All right, welcome those watching outside the Discord. Today we are doing an overview with ATAMA, and it is going to be a session going over the extension overview that they actually get access to, and going to be answering some questions and going over even some of the view portions of the tool to get more insights on what AlphaSharks is actually all about. So let's kind of jump into it. So initially, can I get a thumbs up? You guys can see my screen in here? Or I talk, we're all good? No, cool. All right. So this actual page is going to be that first link that MG sent. It's going to be the view.alphasharks.io. If you actually go onto there, it's going to be the main page where you can connect your wallet and you can see if you what type of access that you actually have. And the second link that MG actually sent is going to be the Chrome link that you can actually click and directly download the extension, which would actually take you then to OpenSea at this point. So once you get that extension downloaded, you should have it popped up, AlphaSharks, and you should be able to pop up your wallet. And we'll definitely be going over in depth what exactly each kind of tool piece the extension actually offers. But once you actually download that extension, the first thing I like to go into is straight into OpenSea. And one of the cool things that we get instant access to is when we go into stats and go into activity, you'll notice that now you'll have the AlphaSharks extension popped up. One of the things with AlphaSharks, right now we are only on the Ethereum blockchain, so you do want to filter out for the Ethereum chain. This is going to help you filter out live activity sales that are actually going on per block. And you'll notice our rank rarity system that we actually have popped up next to every single project that is actually coming through the feed. This is, again, live indexing, calculating all ranks except for bundles at this point. So it's a pretty neat feature that you can get access to pretty much instantly. And you'll notice there's a few different color coordinations that we have here in our rank rarity system, and I'll be going over that right now. So the green percentage, you'll see this on NFTs that are 20+%, or I guess you would call those the more common. So basically we take the rarity ranking and take a percentage that we believe the rank is actually sitting within throughout the whole project. So by seeing that this is actually green, it's saying that this is probably a more common NFT because 20+% of the collection is actually having this type of traits that we're actually calculating. The next one that you're going to see is going to be blue. So you'll have about 10 to 20% rarity, which is probably your more uncommon or rare NFTs that you'll be looking at. So it's a very quick visual reference to see, hey, do we have something very common or something that's uncommon? And then you can see our pink metric is going to be our within top 5%, which is going to be the ultra rares or the legendaries or the one of ones, ideally, with very few I guess discrepancies, assuming the metadata is not revealed at this point, but we'll go over that as well. So the pink metric, again, is going to be our top 5%, again, meaning very rare or ultra rares. Our blue percent is going to show NFTs that are rarities from the top 10 to 20%. and then our green is going to show anything above 20%. So again, a very quick reference, visual reference on, again, seeing what is common, what is unrare, or what is actually very rare. So let's see. Do we have any questions so far? You guys can type out any questions. You guys can unmute your mics if you guys would like. If not, I can jump right into taking a look at actual NFTs with the rarity system that we're looking at. No question. All right. I guess I'll toss this question out here. Is there a project that anybody wants me to kind of go over? Assuming it would kind of be, if nobody has a suggestion, I would probably go over ATAMA itself. So one of the things you'll notice when you actually download the extension and you actually click on a project such as ATAMA, you'll actually get this top stat line portion up top, which again, it's going to be very useful because it's going to indicate some very key statistics that we do like to utilize for projects in the space. So notice up here, up top we have owners and supply ratio, where owners and supply sitting right next to each other, and we do like to utilize them as a ratio. So having those metrics right here is definitely something that we definitely like to utilize. Seeing the royalties, definitely something to also utilize. Then another interesting metric here is going to be NBCP, next blue chip probability. This is a very key metric that not many people utilize, and I think it's a very key, not only technical measure, but a fundamental measure as well. Basically what next blue chip probability is calculating is it's taking blue chip projects that we consider blue chips in the space, taking into account how many wallets own the actual project that we're actually looking at, and takes the overall mean between all of the blue chip projects and all of the wallets that they're holding. So essentially, the higher the number, the more blue chip projects that are inside this actual project itself, thus meaning more potential for higher potential for volume to come in off of catalytic events. So this number is very key that we like to utilize a lot. And seeing NBCPs pushing over 10% is something very key to look at. And seeing you guys sitting at 14% is very solid. It's a very solid metric to pop up. Next on, I've seen it glitched a few times. It's pushed about like 80% if, let's say something like BASE got into like the other side, and then that would be considered a blue chip. I think that pushed about like 70 or 80%. So we're still kind of trying to measure, make a metric where we actually get that to be calculated, I guess, correctly, or I guess more efficiently. But yeah, ideally for, I guess, quote unquote normal projects, I guess, just going from mint to, I guess, just extending their life in the space, anything above 10% is really solid. Something like a free mint like Goblins was a really good example of this, where it went from like 3% NBCP, then in about 3 days it pushed about 10 to 15%, and then it just took off from there. So that was that one. You had Rare Pepes I talk about a lot, which was also a really good metric of that as well. Kind of had the same pattern with the NBCP. So this measure is really interesting to look at, and we're always trying to go over and kind of make this a little more efficient as well. Mhm. The next thing we do have a question. What does NBCP stand for? Next blue chip percentage. That's what that's going to stand for. Yes. Then the next metric we're going to have is average mint. So it's a pretty cool thing just to have right here. Just to know, hey, are we over mint, under mint? Just immediately off the bat. That's really nice to know. The next thing is active listings, and this one is a very solid metric. I like to coincide with actual supply, because we know supply is actually set, right? We know that the total supply is not going to change. The thing that is going to change our supply, quote unquote, is going to be the circulating supply, which is our active listings. So actually, if you pop up our summary sheet, you can see the percent listed. So that's going to give you active listings divided by the supply, and you should get that 14.715%. So a cool metric there as well to see kind of how thin the walls are for the project that we're kind of looking at. We'll go over that summary tab a little more in depth as well. The next thing we do have also is going to be the floor price, and this is going to be floor price not showing only on OpenSea. So notice right here the floor price is a lot high. Oops, with this new update, that's my bad. I always do that. The floor price is still differentiating here. Notice it's 1.92 right here on OpenSea, but right here on our Alpha Sharks extension, it's saying the floor price is 1.89. What this is picking up is that we're actually getting a listing from another marketplace at this point. So probably X2Y2 or Looks Rare. There's likely a listing sitting at that price, and we'll actually get to that pop-up within the summary tab as well. The next portion we do have as well is going to be the 1 hour delistings, and this is going to be very key again for some type of like catalytic news, saying like there's some type of event that happens or some type of unknown collaboration, or I don't know, some type of again just crazy news event that would cause people to start wanting to either delist their NFTs or list them at a higher price at that point. I do have a few questions. Let me look at that. So yeah, ideally the MBCP, the higher the better. Ideally is kind of the concept, but it really depends on what projects you're kind of using it on and like what type of project that is. Like if it's a tool, or if it's like a free mint degen play, or if it's like a blue chip secondary drop. That number is going to kind of change a little bit inside what it's actually displaying, or what it's meaning by the percentage it's displaying. The next metric right here is actually going to be 24-hour volume. So right here we can see the ETH volume traded within the last 24 hours. So again, gives us a nice metric just off the bat, seeing, hey, how much demand is actually coming in within the last day. Are we over the demand from yesterday? Are we under? What's actually happening with that? And kind of more in-depth one is going to be the trio on the right-hand side as well, where you're going to have 1 day sales, 1 hour sales, and 10-minute sales. And kind of same concept, except right here we're doing volume, we're doing sales on this portion, and it's going to give you the amount of sales within the last day. So right here you guys can see that you guys have had 5 more sales within the last 24 hours, which is an 80% jump from the other day that it was actually calculating. So let's say, what happened to my, there we go. That's a nice jump in price action in sales, just again straight off the numeric value here. Sales within the last hour, again, is going to give us that same metric and going to give us the same percentages here as well. Obviously, green is going to mean up in amount of sales. Red's going to mean down in amount of sales at that time. So the next portion we actually do have is the metadata fetch and the rank rarity. So what I was talking about earlier with some of the projects having all the same ranks, if you're starting to notice that, you'll notice that either metadata fetched or it would be 0% or 100%, while rank rarity would be sitting at about 0.0% or 0.01%, meaning that there's no variety in the rank. But notice both here we have the metadata fetch and the rank variety is actually 100% on both, thus meaning we have all the metadata fetched and there's a rank variety of 100%, meaning that none of the rarities that we're calculating are the same. So if you see rank variety at a lower percentage, it's most likely because that NFT project is actually unrevealed. So a very solid metric to utilize there as well. When next rug percentage, that's funny. That would be a great metric to add, actually. Be like a social experiment kind of thing. Sushi, is there an example of a project with high MBCP but not doing good floor price wise? Yeah, definitely. There's a lot of those. Off the top of my head, what's a good one that has a high MBCP? Usually blue chip projects that do like secondary projects, they usually have high MBCPs because initially those blue chip projects held that project in the first place. So something like beans from like a Zuki or something, that could likely be one. Three-lander is a good one too. Let's see. Yeah, so three-landers right here, sitting at 23.63%. That's a huge MBCP. That's, again, I liked it sitting around 10%, 15%, but when we start pushing that number, that's something very key to look at. And we can pretty much see who's inside, who's creating kind of the MBCP percentage. So when you open up how I got to this before anybody kind of jumps into it, I clicked on this right hand portion where it has Alpha Shark summary. So if you actually click onto that, you get a quick pop-up on the right hand side that's going to give us a nice breakdown of the project itself. So first you're going to have the title, the contract itself, all the links that you can click here. This is going to take you to the view portion. This is going to be only available to people who have full access, but luckily enough to everybody that's here, you guys do get full access for a whole week. So that's pretty neat. So make sure you guys definitely check this out because we'll be jumping into the view a little bit at the end. If you guys happen to stick around for that. And then a quick breakdown on the view stats. You'll notice that these look very familiar because it's kind of the same portions that we're breaking down from the stat bar that we had on top. So average mint, again, sitting right here. Listing floor, again, the floor right here. MBCP, same idea. Listed and our listing percentage as well. And then our minimum royalty. But let's look at the thing that we came in here for, which was the notable holders. So look at all the holders that we consider notable within the space that are actually holding this project itself. So you have Moonbirds, Doodles, Apes, Zuki, Fluff, Cyberkongs, Bored Ape Kennel Club, Cool Cats, Goblin, Proof, Clonex, V-Friends, Invisible Friends, just Clonex. You have so many different projects in here, but not only that, let's look at the amount that they're holding. 178 wallets, 573 NFTs. Doodles, 283 wallets. They hold 703 as a collective. You can start to see how that starts to add up over time. So that's definitely a good example of having a high MBCP, but having that not reflecting the floor price, because again, there's no golden indicator really. Like MBCP is very solid, but it should not be a standalone indicator itself. I don't think any of these indicators that we have should be a standalone at all. If anything, the standalone should be price action itself. But yeah, that's our breakdown for our notable holders. And if we actually go down as well, we get a quick breakdown on sell walls to kind of see how thin our walls are to a certain price points. Then we have our momentum chart, which is going to give us a quick momentum feed of seeing how many listings and sales are actually going on at this point. So this is probably going to be a little more useful on something that's getting a little more sales at this point. Then you're actually going to have holder distribution, which is going to show you a matrix of how many people hold the NFT or certain amounts of the NFT. So here we can see 941 people hold 2 3 landers here. And then going to 3, you can see 268 people hold 3 landers, and so on and so forth. Yeah, that's going to be that breakdown for our Alpha Sharks summary. Sushi, thanks. Yeah, no worries. All right. Let's jump into. Oops. One sec. Wrong screen. Okay. Let me go into ATAMA. All right. So when we come here into one of the projects, I wanted to come into ATAMA for a particular reason. When utilizing the extension tool itself, so let's say we're looking at the floor ATAMA. This is, again, you're going to get your stat bar on top. Let me take that off. You're going to get your stat bar on top. You're going to have the, oops. There you go. You're going to have the, obviously, project name here, number of the NFT. Then it's going to show us our Alpha Sharks rarity ranking here. And this is going to, again, have a numerical or a color-coded breakdown for the statistics that we're actually looking at. So one of the cool things that we get to see is, again, what marketplace that they're actually listed on. We get to see that this one's only listed on OpenSea itself, not on X2Y2 or LooksRare. Then we can come into the Alpha Sharks rarity tool and see each individual trait and see the difference in the floor price off of each particular trait itself. So notice you'll have 2 metrics being calculated here. You'll have floor and delta across all traits. And what that's calculating is that floor for each individual trait. So if you're trying to be like a trait sniper and look for discrepancies in particular traits, this is going to help you out a ton because that's what this delta is going to calculate. So we can see here that the delta for the next background 3 is going to be 0.03 ETH. So not really much of a discrepancy. Let's see if we can go back into something that has a little more rarity. something like this. Right here. So perfect. So this one right here, we can see that we're actually getting a floor price for background 5 of 1.95, but notice the delta on this one. It's 0.55 ETH, and what that's telling me is that yes, the floor for this particular trait is 1.95, but the next one on that floor is 0.55 above the initial floor that we're looking at. So potential arbitrage at that point. So let's actually click onto that trait. And what that's going to do, again, it's going to show us our floor price NFT that was sitting at 0.1 or 1.95, then the delta that was in between the particular trait that we're calculating. So notice that difference, 0.55 in between both of these. And that's exactly what the delta is calculating here, 0.55. So we can get a quick view just seeing straight off the extension if there's arbitrage, particularly based off of the trait itself. And you can do this on every single trait. Notice on, let's say you wanted to look for the big sword, there's a 0.25 delta on the big sword if you're looking to trait snipe that. So notice that difference here. Again, that could be very key for people who are looking to become trait snipers at that point. It's a pretty cool metric. Then you'll notice the little breakdown that we have in between, again with color-coded metrics as well. These color codes are going to be the same breakdown that we had earlier. So I'll start with the most rare. So 0% to 5% traits will pop up this pink color code. Then you'll get 5 to 20% pop up to blue. You'll see them blue color coded. And anything that is green, you'll see that they are based on 20+%. So anything over 20%, you'll see this metric be popped up green. So again, lots of information flowing through, but we do see that it can be very useful very quickly, especially if you're using it for something like trait sniping in this sense. So see if there's any questions. What's the cost for the tool? The cost for an Alpha Shark right now is 0.21. In order to get, again, this is just access to the extension, which you guys will be getting access to. I do want to go over a little bit of the view, but I did want to get everybody's questions in if they had questions regarding the extension. But if not, I can jump into the view if you guys wanted to see that. Yeah, awesome. All right, so when we actually jump into the view, you'll actually be taken out of the OpenSea link itself. So let's say we want to go to and if we happen to jump into our summary, you can notice that we can open our view and it'll have a hyperlink here. And we can actually just jump straight into that if you actually have access to the full view itself. And the full view, I think, is again where you're going to get the most out of the tool. The extension is great, and you get lots of the extension, or all of the extension within this view, but the view just takes it to another kind of level. So I guess I'll do a quick breakdown on, again, what the view is kind of showing. And you'll notice all these, the whole stat bar is pretty much the same thing that we just went over in the extension. You have your metadata and the rank variety. And we also have our project up here. And we're just gonna have a few more additions here to get a little more in depth. So one of the things I do want to go over is, again, you can come in here and actually change the marketplaces that we're actually filtering by. So you can notice we have columns on the left hand side and a column on the right hand side. The left hand column is going to be the amount of listings that we're actually viewing. The right hand side is going to be trades and delistings that we're actually viewing via the chart. And what we can do, let's put this on like a 60-day and take those off. So right here we can see all the markets are actually on, meaning we're calculating for listings and sales across all marketplaces. But let's say you only wanted to see listings and sales on OpenSea. Notice that this number would actually change here because, again, we're not calculating the marketplaces that we just took off, LooksRare and X2Y2. And again, you can notice that that will change our cell walls as well at this point. So whatever you're changing within the view, it's actually going to change the metrics that we're calculating under our view as well. So next you're actually going to have the norm and count, which is going to be for rank rarity. Again, we don't really touch on that too much. There's not many times that we've had to change the rank rarity system, so keeping those both on is pretty essential. Then right here is another cool one that we have where you can actually change custom gas if you're looking to snipe at this point. So one of the main things that we do like to look at, if you did want to do a custom gas mode, let's say you wanted to go into Alpha Sharks, you can come in here into the extension and set a custom gas setting, whatever you'd like. So let's say you wanted a custom gas field, say of 100 and a max priority of 5. You can set that to be a custom preset. And let's say you wanted something even faster, like 510 priority. You can set that as well. Then you can come in here and change your instant and mad, which again are going to be your 1 and 2 functions, which are going to help with the sniping of the NFTs. Cool. Alright, so once you actually have that kind of broken down, another thing you can kind of do here as well is break down and filter whatever listings that you're looking at. So not only by marketplace, but you can filter out by price. So let's say you only wanted to see NFTs up until 2 ETH. You can apply that and that would pop up and filter that as well. Let's say you wanted to do only top 10% ranks, you can filter that as well. If you wanted to see only tokens 1 through 100, you're able to filter that as well. So lots of different features that you can do. One cool thing that you can do here is do the traits as well. So let's say that you're looking for a particular background. Let's say like background 5. You can particularly filter out for that particular trait that you're looking for. Again, looking for potential arbitrage at that point, which again is pretty neat for people who are looking to kind of make plays like this. So that's that portion. So right here, I'm going to go over the main charting system just real quick. Right now we're on the AlphaSharks expert view. It's going to give us a plot chart of all the sales that are kind of going on. And you can see right now we're being filtered by ranks. And this is going to give us a quick overview of, again, what is considered rare or not. And we have all these different color codes to see, what's considered rare and what's considered uncommon and the most common. So another cool thing is you can filter by P&L. So this is a very neat feature where you can actually see, again, where people are making money and where people are actually losing money. Another thing, you can filter by marketplace if that's your thing as well. Then you can also change the time spans here as well. But one of the coolest things I think that we have at AlphaSharks is going to be our TradingView implementation. I believe we might be one of the only 2 people that actually have it truly utilized in our platform. And I think it's a very solid charting system for those who have been in the crypto space for a while. TradingView is pretty much the best charting system out there. And we get pretty much full access to everything that they offer. So we can draw trend lines, we're able to save templates, we're able to customize formats, we're able to change time frames, able to do a lot of unique things that you can't do with just plain old plot charts. And again, you get access to all their indicators that TradingView actually has access to. Again, you can save templates in there and kind of customize it to your own liking, which is always pretty neat. And yeah, using TradingView I think is a very, very cool and neat way to observe price action in the space, because plot charts do work very well, but we were starting to see that these candlesticks and the way that we actually calculate them on the view portion, in addition with all the statistics that we're looking at, it's very eye-opening how high the correlation is with the technical analysis via the candlesticks, as opposed to I guess using just plain old plot charts. So one really cool feature that we got into AlphaSharks view that I think is really proprietary. Then down here you're going to have your sell walls, and again we do like to color code a lot of stuff down here, showing us how thin our walls are, how many tokens people are actually holding of the project. So you can see lots of people with only 1 token, then a few people that are selling with 2 to 4 tokens at this point. So you can see it's very healthy from your guys' sellers at that point. So that's awesome to see. Another thing you can do is a filter by listing of nature, meaning you can start to see if you see lots of reds coming in, it's insinuating that those people are actually undercutting themselves. So if you start to see floods of red coming in, it's ideal that these people are very likely to be undercutting themselves. But with this project here, we do not see that happening, which is awesome to see. And yeah, this middle portion again is going to be a momentum chart. It's going to calculate sales and amount of listings. This portion is again only calculating within the last, about 30 minutes or so. We are working on getting a longer time frame for these bottom trios of charts. Same kind of thing with listings. It's only going to calculate this up until I think it's about 45 minutes to an hour. But Still very useful for those who are looking to trade momentum or things that are moving very quickly. So I guess we have one more thing to kind of go over on the right hand side, and that was going to be the trades and delistings. You can notice that there's on the right hand side, there's going to be a highlighted portion with these NFTs, and you'll see some that are kind of grayed out. The ones that are highlighted here, this is indicating that this listing was actually delisted and was not an actual transaction. So these are actually delistings that are going on, while the ones that are grayed out are actual sales transactions that went on. So cool thing is, if say you don't want to see delistings at all and you only wanted to see true sales, then you can also filter that there as well and see the breakdown of all the sales. But yeah, that's kind of a main overview of Alpha Sharks, the tool. There's so much to the tool in general. It would be kind of insane for me to try to go over it all in one sitting. Try to do my best here to break it down as efficiently as possible for you guys, while not trying to overload you guys with some information. But yeah, I think I'm all solid. If anybody has any questions, please do not be afraid to shoot them down. You guys can unmute your mics. You guys can type in the general VC chat. Yeah, I guess the floor is kind of open. Appreciate that, D3. Yeah, appreciate that, D3. Always pushing out and showing out and supporting, man. Appreciate that, man. That's what it's all about. Yeah, man, that's the thing. We're trying to make it kind of the all-in-one tool, kind of trying to keep it all in one place, the most efficient for people to kind of utilize. And we hold these sessions at Sharks twice a week. So if you guys do happen to get access to that, we try to again go over different segments of the tool itself because, like D3 was saying, I'm trying to fit about like 6 months worth of content into about an hour's worth of session. But again, with everybody kind of showing up, that's kind of the main thing at Sharks. We kind of need that. Without people using the tool and getting that direct feedback from people who are directly using it, it's kind of not going to be very user friendly. And again, we're still trying to take suggestions from all types of traders, and again, trying to make it the best all-in-one tool that we possibly can. I did drop a little segment in the general VC chat. If we are going to be doing a giveaway today, we will be doing it via Twitter. If you guys can do me the solid and tweet out just one giveaway and tag out the people that we sent in the general VC chat, you'll be entered in the giveaway for, we have a $50 USD giveaway, 10 special rolls giveaway, and everybody who is here today and actually tweets it out will get the full 1 week access to full access for the Alpha Sharks tool. So again, we really appreciate you guys taking your guys' time coming down here. I know that everybody has daily lives and not everybody has an hour to spare, but we really appreciate you guys coming down and spending the time here with us. So trying to reciprocate that energy down to you guys. Yeah. Ollie had a question. How about an auto sell whenever they hit a certain price point? There are talks about automation and stuff like that for the people who own the Sharks itself, but nothing confirmed on that yet. But we are always adapting and trying to, again, make it the most efficient tool. And if that's something that we look at that is a full-on need, then we'll definitely be implementing that for sure. Yeah. Yeah, so what D3 is talking about right there is I just pulled up our actual trend page and I'm just looking at something that's having some type of action right now because that's usually kind of where the sweeps come in. So I'll go into there and I'll go down and look at the sales and I'll try to see again where kind of the people coming in, like right here. You can see that there's a gem sweep of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. About 10 of them. What was that, 2 minutes ago? So you can see like the difference in like our amount of listings at that point. Like if is this really having an impact on the supply, and is that one gem sweep going to additionally bring on more gem sweeps to kind of give us a rise in volume, which would also give us a rise in demand and sales at that point. So it's when you get into the view, it's very useful when you start using the charts in correlation with all the statistics that we're kind of looking at as well. Yeah, that was a great mention, DP. Hmm. 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 I agree. I agree. You sound a little biased, D3. Yeah. Comes with, yes. Hmm. Yeah, and you know, yeah, yeah, yeah. No, that's a really neat feature here, man. We like now that is a good. That's definitely, especially for the people who are looking to snipe like really quickly. That's you need that. And again, we are trying to kind of cater to all traders, so not only long-term investors, but people who are looking to snipe stuff like this. Like what He-Man was saying, if we can have a metric or like a feature where we can outgas this person initially, that would be pretty insane. One of the things I could say though that we're trying to figure out the right way to do is we don't want to give 4,000 or um, excuse me, I don't know the main supply. I think it's 4,000, 5,000 supply, 6,000 supply. We don't want to give that access to 6,000 people at the same time because think about what that would do, right? If everybody's on the same tool, all clicking that same button at the same time, can you imagine the reaction on gas prices at that point? If 4,000, I mean, not ideally, but let's say 4,000 people are trying to get that exact same NFT, it would just kind of run it up. So we're trying to find a way to best utilize that to uh, not make it to a point where we're just having a major just gas war, especially for stuff like something sitting at like this, like 0.01. Um, but yeah, that's definitely a feature we are looking at very heavily because we are hearing lots of talks about that for sure. Alright. So I'm seeing some tweets coming in. Again, to enter the giveaway, I did drop the, I guess, picture in the general VC. All you guys got to do is tag. Let me get the text out as well. So basically, just one takeaway from the session and tagging Alpha Sharks, myself, and ATAMA, and you guys will be entered for the giveaway. And also be getting your guys' access for full access for a week for the whole tool. But yeah, if there are any more questions, do not be afraid to speak up or type out any questions. Prolific, when will winners be drawn? Winners will be drawn, I want to say tonight. If not tonight, within the week, for sure. We will have an announcement on that. Ali, how many roles will be given? To my knowledge, MG could probably correct me on this, but I got 10 special roles as a giveaway. Right. Alright. Ooh. Uh-oh. Ooh. Damn. Damn. No way. Oh, I gotcha. Can you show me again how to check a certain trait and immediately compare it to floor price of a project? Okay, yes. So right now we're in the actual view. So let's actually, do you have a particular project that you want me to look at or a particular NFT that you want me to look at? Give me your best one. Azuki. So when you go inside Azuki, and let's say you're looking for, is there a particular trait that you want to look for on Azuki? For a particular background? Any trait? Let's go to, cool. So let's, yeah, yeah, that is a feature we ended up getting a few weeks ago, which is still in beta. Still in beta, but it's working out pretty well. I hear you. So let's say you want to do something like a straw hat. You can go into the headgear itself, um, click that. Honestly, you kind of have to know what you're kind of trying to go for first. So, like, let's say again, like a straw hat's pretty rare. One thing you'd want to look at is, again, it's going to give you the initial floor price, but the floor price is going to be directly stuck to the trait that it's calculating. So it's saying that the floor price of human type Azukis are 8.74. Doesn't mean that that's the actual floor price of the project, but that's what the floor price of that particular trait is itself. And if it has no delta, it's meaning that that trait, the next one right next to it, is pretty much the same price. So like if we click the brown half bun, it has 0 delta. Notice the one right next to, ooh, that's a bug. That we just found, because that should not be there. If it said 0, it actually should have been no change here, but we're seeing that that's actually not the case. So we do have to fix that. But here, notice the floor is 13 ETH for the straw hat, and the delta is 1.88 ETH. So ideally, the next one here on the floor, the next straw hat, should be about 2 ETH difference. 1.88 ETH difference, and that we're actually seeing right here. So that's how you're going to see that. Mm. Yep. Mm. Yeah, so what D3 is talking about here, again, the view is going to be accessed for people who have full access. That's why I was showing it inside the OS. No, you're good. But the good thing is that everybody here gets a full week access to this. So um, let's say you did want to kind of go into that headpiece again. The view is just going to make it a little more cleaner. And like you're saying, where is that thing at? Straw hat. There it is. So when we click the straw hat, notice my listings changed because now we're only calculating the trait that we actually picked, and you can actually jump in here and click even more. So let's say you wanted straw hat, you wanted to filter for straw hat, but you also wanted to filter for horns too. You can do that, and you can see the listings are going to change with that, and the trades and sales are going to change with that as well. And again, it's really useful because you get it just in an instant, and you can instantly just buy right off the view, which is pretty cool. Julia, silly question, but is the Chrome extension all we have access to? As of right now, the extension, you guys do have access to the extension as a partner. For being here, you guys do have access for 1 week, full access to the view, which is the portion that we're actually looking at right now. And log in with the wallet holding ATAMA. Yes, we will be getting those wallets. Nonchalant might have a little more on that than myself, but yes, you guys will be good. Master Yayoko, what makes you guys different from projects such as Tiny Astro? We're really looking just to be the best all-in-one tool in general. So from analytics, we're really trying to fit in the most efficient analytics that make sense in correlation with what we're looking at, and trying to add proprietary features such as kind of like what He-Man was talking about earlier. Like if somebody like Tiny Astro or another competitor is seeing success in some tool, then we definitely want to look at that and try to best utilize it most efficiently for our process and the way that we actually set up our UI. But yeah, pretty much trying to break down security, efficiency, and overall speed of the project is pretty much the main concern, and getting the feedback directly from communities and people who are using it to then again update our tool and then kind of get direct feedback again, which is kind of just a self-feeding machine. But yeah. All right. Not seeing any more questions, so I'm just gonna wrap it up real quick. Just wanted to thank all you guys here at ATAMA for having us down here, and for all you guys spending your guys' time, taking time out of your guys' day to be here. Because again, I know everybody has their own lives, and again, doesn't have to be here. But again, really big ups to you guys here. What you guys are doing is pretty amazing. And again, we really appreciate you guys giving us the platform, and hoping that you guys enjoyed the little session, and hopefully you guys can make a little money with the free week access that you guys got and the extension. Like D3 was saying, if you guys have any questions, you guys can reach out anytime. My DMs are always open. You guys can follow me on Twitter, Discord. You can add me literally a ping away. If you guys have any questions, do not be afraid to ask. It's pretty much what I'm here for. So I appreciate you guys. Appreciate y'all.